Today on the table we've got something pretty special because I've been hoping to get my hands on one of these, or at least this combo, for a little while so I can at least test it and try it out. What I've got over here, this is a Xeon E5 2690, which is an 8-core, 16-thread processor. It's literally well, I guess not literally, it's basically two i7 2600Ks put together on the same die. And to me, that's exciting because I used to have a 2600K, love that thing, and I've been wanting to try one of these for a while now because they're not really expensive. If you remember those motherboards for the other day, I got one special just for this CPU as well. This one, high quality, indestructible! Yeah, I don't know about that claim. I'm not here to test that out. I'm just here to make sure that CPU runs on that motherboard. And if all goes well, I haven't boot tested this thing yet either. But I've also got a GTX 780 sitting here that hopefully is going to work out pretty well for us. We got a 700 watt EVGA power supply to pair with it. And I picked up a few things of DDR3 ECC RAM as well. This is the registered stuff that wouldn't work in my HPs. But I ordered 8 gig sticks up at this time because our motherboard over here actually has 4 slots, so I could possibly put 32 gigs of RAM in there. Be pretty sweet. And from what I understand, I think these Xeons can actually support quad channel RAM. I don't know if this motherboard will do it. This might only be dual channel, even though it's got 4 slots. We'll just have to see. Maybe run CPU-Z on that one or something. And to go with it, I've got these nice, flamboyant, Neo-Illusion LiPa CPU coolers. So let's get this thing all together and see if it works. Do my first boot here with the 1650 I've got, just because I know it works. Well, now that we know the rest of it works, we need to take out the 650. That was basically just our test card. And we need to put in our nice chunker of a 780. Now, I didn't repaste the graphics card this time. All I did was blow it out with some air duster. I tried really hard, and I just couldn't get the screws to come out at all. I really didn't want to strip them out, just in case somebody in the future is able to actually get it apart and repaste the GPU and all that stuff. I didn't mean to, but I actually ordered this straight from China, and it arrived in really good condition, so I'm not banking on it necessarily, but there is actually a pretty good chance that maybe some warehouse somewhere tore this thing down and restored it a little before they got online and sold it. As far as I can tell, it's in good shape. We're going to have to run stress tests on it and find out, and I'm just letting it sit here for a minute to just run, just to make sure it doesn't crash on me or anything. It's still just sitting on the BIOS right now. So yeah, we've got the whole system working now, and it looks like it's about time to put it in a case. That turned out pretty well. Actually, I didn't think that case was going to look as good. That is a DIY PC case, of which I have used many. And they're awful. They're the cheapest cases you can get, and it shows. You try to build in them, they try to cut you for trying to build in them. They usually don't give you any space. That was all the room I could ask for, basically. All the cable routing I could want, and everything. As far as the performance goes, yeah, it's pretty good. The other Machinist boards I've got, the X78 ones, I've run 2 of them so far, and each one is blue screened 1 time. The first one did it on the first Windows boot up, which didn't give me a whole lot of faith in the platform the first time I was using it. But then I never did it again. And then the second one I used it for a couple hours before it ever blue screened, and it was when I wasn't doing anything. And then I never did it again. So they seem to be mostly fine, mostly stable, you know? Then that one, the X79 one over there, hasn't done it at all. So I hate to say it out loud, but I kind of recommend them. I haven't used it long term, obviously, so there could be long term use bugs that I'm not aware of. But just from the couple hours I've used each one, yeah, they seem fine. It's a surprisingly good alternative to the standard Gigabyte Asus boards that you can get out there that are aged at this point and twice the price of these things because they're in such high demand. I mean, my main system is an i5-10400, and modern 10th gen Intel, everything pretty much as soon as I click on it, it opens up. I haven't really had that with any of the used systems that I put together, but that thing, the X79, it's actually pretty much the same way. You click on something, boom, opens up right then and there. No hesitation at all. As far as games go, I played Warzone on it for a little while, and I had to stop myself because I'm not really into Warzone, but it was running really well, so I was kind of getting into it. It was running at like 60 to 80 FPS, 1080p with like medium lowish settings. And I was on a 60 hertz TV anyway, so that's pretty much as good as it could get on there. Also tried GTA 5. I was thinking as far as games go, these are the two most graphically demanding games that I've got on hand. GTA 5, if you really pump up the graphics, can really strain your card. Like, even if you've got a pretty decent card, if you pump those all the way up, it's still going to make it strain a bit. So I used those two. GTA 5 ran pretty well too. I cranked all the settings at that 684p, most of the settings. So that'd be like without MSAA. And I was still getting like 80 to 100 FPS. So I cranked the MSAA all the way up to 8 times, which is about as strenuous as just rendering at higher resolutions. And yeah, it still ran about 60 FPS, dipping to like 55 here and there. Did a pretty good job. Can't complain at all. Overall, very impressed. That's all I've got for today. Thanks for indulging me, and see you next time. Subscribe.